Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're gathered here today as representatives of the East Turkistan government in exile in front of the United Nations to protest China's hypocrisy and China's ongoing campaign of colonization, genocide, and occupation in occupied East Turkestan. First, we will start off with the playing of the East Turkestan national anthem. As representatives of the East Turkestan government in exile and members of the captive nation of East Turkestan, we stand here today outside the United Nations headquarters. As we stand today outside of the United Nations headquarters, we are confronted with a stark and unsettling paradox. Within the walls of the United Nations, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi leads discussions on the Israel-Hamas conflict, extolling the virtues of peace, international cooperation, and respect for self-determination. Yet this diplomatic facade belies a grim reality that unfolds over 6,000 miles away in occupied East Turkestan, where an entire nation faces an existential struggle under the occupation of the foreign Chinese regime. The Sino-East Turkestan conflict, largely ignored by global powers, stands as one of the most severe and prolonged humanitarian crises of our time. It is not just a territorial dispute or a regional conflict. It is a systematic, state-sponsored Chinese campaign to eradicate the Uyghurs, Kazakhs, Kyrgyz, and other Turkic peoples of East Turkestan in an effort to prevent the restoration of East Turkestan's independence and to permanently transform East Turkestan into a Chinese colony. This Chinese colonial and genocidal campaign, marked by mass internment of millions of people, systematic massacres, and the enslavement of an entire nation, represents a blatant violation of every tenet of international laws, human rights, and dignity. China's genocidal and barbaric role in the Sino-East Turkestan conflict starkly contrasts its self-styled image of a global mediator in the Israel-Hamas conflict. As they speak of peace and negotiation at the UN Security Council, China simultaneously orchestrates one of the most egregious campaigns of colonization, genocide, and occupation in the whole of human history in occupied East Turkestan. It is a hypocrisy that undermines the very principles of international law, diplomacy, and justice. In occupied East Turkestan, millions of Uyghurs, Kazakhs, Kyrgyz, and other Turkic people suffer in a sprawling network of concentration camps and prisons, a modern-day gulag archipelago where unspeakable atrocities are committed daily, hidden from the world. The Chinese government, under the false pretext of so-called counterterrorism and so-called anti-separatism, has long unleashed a campaign of terror against the 40 million innocent civilians and peoples of occupied East Turkestan. The world vowed never again in the wake of past genocide. Yet here we stand witnessing a genocide unfold in the 21st century. The ongoing genocide in East Turkestan is not just a crisis of those directly affected. It is a challenge to the conscience of humanity as a whole. It tests our commitment to the ideals of human rights, to the principles of self-determination, justice, and equality that form the bedrock of international order. As China asserts itself on the global stage, it is imperative that its actions in occupied East Turkestan, Tibet, as well as southern Mongolia, are scrutinized and condemned. The world must not be deceived by China's diplomatic games while turning a blind eye to the suffering of over 40 million people in occupied East Turkestan. The silence of the international community in the face of this crisis is not just a failure of policy. It is a failure of morality, a betrayal of the very ideals upon which the United Nations was founded. Today, we gather here to call out this hypocrisy, to shed light on the forgotten crisis in occupied East Turkestan, and to demand action. The crisis in East Turkestan is not just a regional conflict, but a glaring example of the international community's selective engagement with territorial decolonization, self-determination, and human rights issues. While certain global crises receive prompt attention and action, the plight of 40 million people in East Turkestan remains a footnote in the annals of international diplomacy. This neglect reflects a disturbing reality where power politics overshadow the universal principles of self-determination, human rights, and justice. In occupied East Turkestan, an entire nation is subjected to a systematic campaign of eradication. The Chinese occupation forces policies have led to the creation of an Orwellian, colonial, genocidal state where surveillance is pervasive and fear is a constant companion. Every aspect of life in occupied East Turkestan is monitored and controlled, with a vast network of thousands of checkpoints, millions of checkpoints, thousands of concentration camps and prisons, millions of surveillance cameras, and millions of Chinese colonists and armed Chinese occupation forces, turning every corner of East Turkestan into a virtual prison. Occupied East Turkestan is the largest and most real open-air prison that the world is deliberately ignoring. The international community's response to this crisis has been woefully inadequate, if not non-existent. The United Nations, despite its mandate to respect self-determination, uphold human rights, and promote peace, has been largely silent on the Sino-East Turkestan conflict and the ongoing genocide in East Turkestan. This silence is not just a dereliction of duty, it is complicity in the face of brutal, prolonged campaign of colonization, genocide, and occupation. The failure to act against China's campaign of colonization, genocide, and occupation in East Turkestan is a betrayal of the very principles that the United Nations purports to defend. The contrast in response to the Israel-Hamas conflict and the East Turkestan crisis is a stark reminder of the inconsistencies of global governance. While the former garners widespread attention in diplomatic efforts, the latter is being completely ignored. This disparity in attention and action underscores a troubling double standard in the approach to self-determination, human rights, and justice. The right to self-determination enshrined in international law has been systematically denied to the people of occupied East Turkestan. Despite their clear expression of this right through historical declarations of independence and sustained existence as the East Turkestan Republic and continued resistance against Chinese occupation, the international community has remained largely silent. This silence not only undermines the legitimacy of international law, but also emboldens the oppressive Chinese occupation regime to continue their violations with impunity. We stand here today to demand a change to this approach, to call on the United Nations and its member states to take concrete steps to address the crisis in occupied East Turkestan. We demand the international community to move beyond mere rhetoric and take decisive action to uphold the principles of self-determination, human rights, and justice in occupied East Turkestan. The plight of occupied East Turkestan and its people is a litmus test for the international community's commitment to decolonization, human rights, self-determination, and the responsibility to protect. It is time to end the selective engagement with territorial and human rights issues and to take a stand against China's prolonged campaign of colonization, genocide, and occupation in East Turkestan. The people of East Turkestan deserve concrete actions that will bring an end to their suffering and restore their freedom, independence, and dignity. The struggle of the people of East Turkestan to restore their independence and freedom is a testament to their resilience and unyielding spirit. Their struggle is rooted in a deep-seated desire to regain their self-determination, a right that has been recognized and championed by the United Nations, but has been continuously denied to the people of East Turkestan. With a history of over 6,000 years and more than 3,000 years of continuous statehood through Indo-European and Turkic empires, kingdoms, and city-states, East Turkestan has long been an independent nation until modern times. Despite foreign Manchu and later Chinese invasions in the 19th century, the people of East Turkestan re-established their independence twice in the 20th century, notably with the establishment of the East Turkestan republics on November 12, 1933, and again on November 12, 1944. These moments in modern history were not mere political events. They were the expressions of the collective will of a people yearning to regain their freedom and independence and to reestablish their self-governance. However, the Chinese communist invasion of East Turkestan in late 1949 marked the beginning of a dark era of colonization, genocide, and occupation that continues at this very moment. Despite these challenges, the people of East Turkestan have never ceased in their struggle for the restoration of their independence. Their resistance against Chinese occupation is a story of courage and determination, a story, a fight that deserves to be heard and supported by the international community. China's ongoing genocide and crimes against humanity in East Turkestan are not just violations of human rights. They are attempts to extinguish the flame of freedom and independence that burns brightly in the hearts of 40 million people in occupied East Turkestan. The international community's commitments to the principles of never again must be more than a hollow promise. It must be a guiding principle that drives action against the ongoing genocide in occupied East Turkestan. The United Nations, as the champion of decolonization, global peace, human rights, and self-determination, has a moral and legal obligation to intervene and prevent the continuation of China's ongoing campaign of colonization, genocide, and occupation in East Turkestan. The hypocrisy of the Chinese government, which calls for recognition and support of Palestinian statehood, while simultaneously opposing and denying East Turkestani statehood and even the most basic human rights to the people of East Turkestan, must be exposed and challenged. The global community cannot claim to stand for justice and peace while allowing such blatant double standards to persist. We demand the United Nations and its member states fulfill their commitment to championing decolonization, upholding human rights, and preventing genocide, and respecting the right to self-determination. The plight of the people of East Turkestan must be addressed with the same urgency and commitment as other global crises. The time for selective engagement and empty rhetoric is over. The time for action is now. As we stand here today in front of the United Nations, we call on the UN and its member states to demand the International Criminal Court to investigate and prosecute China's leaders, including its genocidal fascist dictator Xi Jinping and their genocidal fascist foreign minister Wang Yi for their role in the ongoing genocide and crimes against humanity being committed against Uyghurs, Kazakhs, Kyrgyz, and other Turkic peoples in occupied East Turkestan. We demand the implementation of economic sanctions and diplomatic pressures on China to end its campaign of colonization and occupation. We demand the recognition of the right of the people of East Turkestan to self-determination and the restoration of their independence and statehood. The struggle for East Turkestan is not just a regional issue. It is a struggle for the very principles of freedom, justice, and human dignity. It is a struggle that deserves the attention and support of the international community. The people of occupied East Turkestan have long determined their future through their consistent and persistent fight for independence. It is time for the world to acknowledge and support their aspirations for the restoration of their freedom, independence, and sovereignty. UN Turkestan! Justice for East Turkestan! UN Turkestan! Justice for East Turkestan! Stop the genocide! UN don't hide! Stop the genocide! UN don't hide! Genocide in occupied East Turkestan! Genocide in occupied East Turkestan! UN don't look away! Genocide in occupied East Turkestan! Wake up, UN! Wake up, UN! Stand against China's genocide! Stand against China's genocide! Wake up, UN! Wake up, UN! Stand against China's hypocrisy! Stand against China's hypocrisy! Here is Turkestan's plea! UN set them free! Here is Turkestan's plea! UN set East Turkestan free! UN end Chinese occupation! UN no more silence! UN end Chinese occupation! UN no more silence! Act now, UN! Act now, UN! Justice must begin! Justice must begin! Justice for East Turkestan! Justice for East Turkestan! UN take a stand! UN take a stand! Independence for East Turkestan! Independence for East Turkestan! UN don't delay! 5 more minutes and then we'll cut it off. 5 more minutes and we're almost done. UN, don't ignore! Don't ignore East Turkistan! UN, don't ignore! Don't ignore East Turkistan! Decolonize East Turkistan! Decolonize East Turkistan! Stand up, UN! Stand up against Chinese imperialism! Stand up against Chinese imperialism! Stand up, UN! Stand up, UN! Stand against Chinese colonialism! Stand against Chinese colonialism! Oppose Chinese occupation of East Turkestan! Oppose Chinese occupation of East Turkestan! Oppose Chinese colonization of East Turkestan! Oppose Chinese colonization of East Turkestan! Bring China before the Hague! Bring China before the Hague! Take China to the ICC now! Take China to the ICC now! Recognize East Turkestan! Recognize East Turkestan! Recognize East Turkestan! Support East Turkestan's independence! Support East Turkestan's independence! Intervene to end the genocide! Intervene to end the genocide! Intervene to end the colonization! Intervene to end the colonization! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Wang Yi! Terrorist Wang Yi! Fascist China! Fascist China! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist Wang Yi! Fascist Wang Yi! Hypocrite China! Hypocrite China! Hypocrite Xi Jinping! Hypocrite Xi Jinping! Hypocrite Wang Yi! Hypocrite Wang Yi! Racist China! Racist China! Racist Xi Jinping! Racist Xi Jinping! Racist Wang Yi! Racist Wang Yi! Go home, China! Go home, China! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! China, get out of East Turkestan! China, get out of East Turkestan now! ends the colonization! China ends the colonization! China ends the occupation! China ends the occupation! We want our independence back! We want our independence back! Support East Turkistan's independence! Support East Turkistan's independence! UN, stop ignoring! Stop ignoring East Turkistan! UN, don't look away! Recognize East Turkistan! UN, don't ignore! UN, don't ignore! Here is Turkistan's plea! Here is Turkistan's plea! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Fascist China! Fascist China! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Wang Yi! Fascist China! Fascist China! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist Wang Yi! Fascist Wang Yi! Racist China! Racist China! Racist Xi Jinping! Racist Xi Jinping! Racist Wang Yi! Racist Wang Yi! Hypocrite China! Hypocrite China! Hypocrite Xi Jinping! Hypocrite Xi Jinping! Hypocrite Wang Yi! Hypocrite Wang Yi! Genocidal China! Genocidal China! Genocidal Xi Jinping! Genocidal Xi Jinping! Genocidal Wang Yi! Genocidal Wang Yi! Imperialist China! Imperialist China! Imperialist Xi Jinping! Imperialist Xi Jinping! Imperialist Wang Yi! Imperialist Wang Yi! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! China, get out of East Turkestan now! China, get out of East Turkestan now! We want our independence back! We want our independence back! Independence for East Turkestan! Independence for East Turkestan! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Wang Yi! 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 Fascist China! Fascist China! Fascist China! Fascist China! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist Wang Yi! Fascist Wang Yi! Resim tahtı. Ya resim. Ha video. Ya resim tahtı. Tamam. Fascist Wang Yi! Fascist Wang Yi! Go home, China! Go home, China! Go home, China! Go home, China! China, get out of East Turkistan! 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 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! China, get out of East Turkistan now! 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 Go home, China! Go home, China! Go home, China! Go home, China! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! China end the occupation! China end the occupation! China end the occupation! China end the occupation! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! China end the colonization! China end the colonization! China end the colonization! China end the colonization! Go home, China! Go home, China! Go home, China! Go home, China! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! 74 years is enough! China end the genocide! China end the genocide! China end the genocide! China end the genocide! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Fascist China! Fascist China! Fascist China! Fascist China! Hypocrite China! Hypocrite China! Hypocrite China! Hypocrite China! barriers to know. China out of East Turkistan now! China out of Turkistan now! China out of East Turkistan now! China out of Turkistan now! US stop ignoring East Turkistan! 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 US stop the hypocrisy! US stop hypocrisy! US stop the hypocrisy! US stop the hypocrisy! US stand against terrorist China! US stand against China! US stand against the Chinese terrorists! US stand against the Chinese terrorists! US stand against the Chinese fascists! 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 US stand against the Chinese invaders! US stand against the Chinese invaders! US stand against Chinese colonization! US stand against colonization! US stand against Chinese colonization! US stand against colonization! UN intervened to stop the genocide! UN stop the genocide! UN intervened to stop the genocide! UN stop the genocide! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Fascist China! Fascist China! Fascist China! Fascist China! Racist China! Racist China! Racist China! Racist China! Hypocrite China! Hypocrite China! Hypocrite China! Hypocrite China! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Xi Jinping! Terrorist Wang Yi! Terrorist Wang Yi! Terrorist Wang Yi! Terrorist Wang Yi! Fascist Wang Yi! Fascist Wang Yi! Fascist Wang Yi! Fascist Wang Yi! Racist Wang Yi! Racist Wang Yi! Racist Wang Yi! Racist Wang Yi! UN stop ignoring East Turkistan! 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 UN stop the hypocrisy! UN stop the hypocrisy! UN stop the hypocrisy! UN stop the hypocrisy! UN stand up against Chinese colonialism! UN stop the Chinese colonization! UN stand up against Chinese colonialism! UN oppose Chinese colonization! UN oppose Chinese colonization! UN oppose Chinese colonization! UN oppose Chinese colonization! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Terrorist China! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist Xi Jinping! Fascist Xi Jinping! the colonization!
China end the colonization!
China end the colonization!
China end the colonization!
China end the genocide!
China end the genocide!
China end the genocide!
China end the genocide!
Stop ignoring East Turkistan!
Stop ignoring East Turkistan!
UN, stop ignoring East Turkistan!
UN, stop ignoring East Turkistan!
UN, stop ignoring China's genocide!
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 UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Fascist China!
Fascist China!
Fascist China!
Fascist China!
Fascist China!
Fascist China!
Racist China!
Racist China!
Racist China!
Racist China!
China in the occupation!
China in the occupation!
China in the occupation!
China in the occupation!
China in the colonization!
China in the colonization!
China in the colonization!
China in the colonization!
China in the genocide!
China in the genocide!
China in the genocide!
China in the genocide!
Fascist China!
Fascist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Racist China!
Racist China!
74 years is enough!
74 years is enough!
74 years is enough!
74 years is enough!
China, get out of East Turkistan!
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 China in the occupation!
China in the occupation!
China in the occupation!
China in the occupation!
China in the genocide!
China in the genocide!
China in the genocide!
China in the genocide!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
Act against China's genocide!
Act against China's genocide!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
Act against Chinese occupation!
Act against China's occupation!
Act against Chinese occupation!
Act against Chinese occupation!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
Pyongyang, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
Act against Chinese occupation!
Act against Chinese occupation!
Act against Chinese occupation!
Act against Chinese occupation!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
Recognize East Turkistan!
Recognize East Turkistan!
Recognize East Turkistan!
Recognize East Turkistan!
Support East Turkistan's independence!
Support East Turkistan independence!
Support East Turkistan's independence!
Support East Turkistan independence!
Fascist Xi Jinping!
Fascist Xi Jinping!
Fascist Xi Jinping!
Fascist Xi Jinping!
Fascist Wang Yi!
Fascist Wang Yi!
Fascist Wang Yi!
Fascist Wang Yi!
Racist Wang Yi!
Racist Wang Yi!
Racist Wang Yi!
Racist
East Turkistan!
Justice for East Turkistan!
UN take a stand!
UN take a stand!
Justice for East Turkistan!
Justice for East Turkistan!
UN don't hide!
UN don't hide!
UN don't hide!
UN don't hide!
Stop China's genocide!
Stop China genocide!
UN don't hide!
UN don't hide!
Stop China's genocide!
Stop China genocide!
UN don't look away!
UN don't hide!
Genocide in occupied East Turkestan!
Genocide in occupied East Turkistan!
UN don't look away! Genocide in occupied East Turkestan!
Genocide in occupied East Turkistan!
Wake up, UN!
Wake up, UN!
Wake up, UN!
Wake up, UN!
East Turkestan's right to self-determination!
East Turkistan has self-determination!
East Turkestan's right to self-determination!
East Turkistan has self-determination!
Here, East Turkestan's plea!
East Turkistan's free!
Here, East Turkestan's plea! Here, East Turkestan's plea!
East Turkistan free!
UN set East Turkestan free! Here, East Turkestan's plea! UN set East Turkestan free! No more silence! No more silence! No more silence!
No more silence!
In Chinese occupation!
In the Chinese occupation!
No more silence!
No more silence!
In Chinese occupation!
In Chinese occupation!
Act now, UN!
Act now, UN!
Justice must begin!
Justice must begin!
Act now, UN!
Act now, UN!
Justice must begin!
Justice must begin!
UN, take a stand!
UN take a stand!
Independence for East Turkestan!
Independence for East Turkistan!
UN, take a stand!
UN take a stand!
Independence for East Turkestan!
Independence for East Turkistan!
UN, don't delay!
UN don't delay!
Act for East Turkestan today!
Act for East Turkistan today!
UN, don't delay!
UN don't delay!
Act for East Turkestan today!
Act for East Turkistan today!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up against Chinese imperialism!
Stand up against Chinese imperialism!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up against Chinese imperialism!
Stand up against Chinese imperialism!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up to Chinese colonialism!
Stand up to Chinese colonialism!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up to Chinese colonialism!
Stand up to Chinese colonialism!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up against China's genocide!
Stand up against Chinese genocide!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up, UN!
Stand up against Chinese genocide!
Stand up against Chinese genocide!
In Chinese occupation of East Turkestan!
In Chinese occupation of Turkistan!
In Chinese occupation of East Turkestan!
In Chinese occupation of Turkistan!
In Chinese colonization of East Turkestan!
In Chinese colonization of Turkistan!
In Chinese colonization of East Turkestan!
In Chinese colonization of Turkistan!
In Chinese occupation of East Turkestan!
In Chinese occupation of Turkistan!
In Chinese occupation of East Turkestan!
In Chinese occupation of Turkistan!
In Chinese genocide in East Turkestan!
In discrimination. Recognize East Turkistan's independence. Recognize East Turkistan's independence. Recognize East Turkistan's independence. Recognize East Turkistan's independence. Terrorist China. Terrorist China. Terrorist China. Terrorist China. Fascist China. Fascist China. Fascist China. Fascist China. Racist China. Racist China. Racist China. Racist China. Racist China. Racist China. Terrorist Wang Yi. Terrorist Wang Yi. Terrorist Wang Yi. Terrorist Wang Yi. Racist Wang Yi. Racist Wang Yi. Racist Wang Yi. Racist Wang Yi. Hypocrite Wang Yi. Hypocrite Wang Yi. Hypocrite Wang Yi. Hypocrite Wang Yi. Fascist Wang Yi. Fascist Wang Yi. Fascist Wang Yi. Fascist Wang Yi. China end the genocide. China end the genocide. China end the genocide. China end the genocide. China end the occupation. 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 China end the colonization. 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 China end the hypocrisy. China end the hypocrisy. China end the hypocrisy. China end the hypocrisy. China end the lie. China end the lie. China end the lie. China end the lie. UN, take a stand. UN, take a stand. UN, take a stand. UN, take a stand. Justice for East Turkistan. Justice for East Turkistan. Justice for East Turkistan. Justice for East Turkistan. UN, don't hide. UN, don't hide. UN, don't hide. UN, don't hide. Stop China's genocide. Stop China's genocide. Stop China's genocide. Stop China's genocide. UN, don't ignore. UN, don't ignore. UN, don't ignore. UN, don't ignore. China's genocide in occupied East Turkistan. 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 UN, hear East Turkistan, please. 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 UN, set East Turkistan free. 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 UN, take the stand. UN, Turkistan. UN, take the stand. UN, take the stand. Independence for East Turkistan. Independence for East Turkistan. Independence for East Turkistan. Independence for East Turkistan. Terrorist China. Terrorist China. Terrorist China. Terrorist China. Fascist China. Fascist China. Fascist China. Fascist China. Racist China. Racist China. Racist China. Racist China. Hypocrite China. Hypocrite China. Hypocrite China. Hypocrite China. Imperialist China. Imperialist China. Imperialist China. Imperialist China. Genocidal China. Genocidal China. Genocidal China. Genocidal China. China, stop the genocide!
China, stop the genocide!
China, stop the genocide!
China, stop the genocide!
China end the occupation!
China end occupation!
China end the occupation!
China end occupation!
China end the colonization!
China end the colonization!
China end the colonization!
China end the colonization!
74 years is enough!
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 Go home, China!
Go home, China!
Go home, China!
Go home, China!
China, get out of East Turkistan now!
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 Terrorist Wang Yi!
Terrorist Wang Yi!
Terrorist Wang Yi!
Terrorist Wang Yi!
Fascist Wang Yi!
Fascist Wang Yi!
Fascist Wang Yi!
Fascist Wang Yi!
Racist Wang Yi!
Racist Wang Yi!
Racist Wang Yi!
Racist Wang Yi!
Imperialist Wang Yi!
Imperialist Wang Yi!
Imperialist Wang Yi!
Imperialist Wang Yi!
Genocidal Wang Yi!
Genocidal Wang Yi!
Genocidal Wang Yi!
Wang Yi!
Stop the hypocrisy!
Stop the hypocrisy!
Stop the hypocrisy!
Stop the hypocrisy!
Stop the lies!
Stop the lies!
Stop the lies!
Stop the lies!
China, get out of East Turkestan!
China, get out of East Turkestan!
China, get out of East Turkestan now!
China, get out of East Turkestan now!
74 years is enough!
74 years is enough!
74 years is enough!
74 years is enough!
Go home, China!
Go home, China!
Go home, China!
Go home, China!
China end the genocide!
China end the genocide!
China end the genocide!
China end the genocide!
China end the hypocrisy!
China end the hypocrisy!
China end the hypocrisy!
China end the hypocrisy!
China end the occupation!
China end the occupation!
China end the occupation!
China end the occupation!
We want our independence back!
We want independence back!
We want our independence back!
We want independence back!
Independence for East Turkestan!
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 Ben şunu da kendim bağımlı.
Yok, ben verdim mandarına. Ben kartım, abisine bayraklı, çadının bayraklı.
Okey.
Ya eleyeceğim olmadı bismillah. Aa, ben olmadı. Ben
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China! Terrorist!
China, get out of East Turkistan!
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 UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop
UN, stop the
the hypocrisy!
hypocrisy!
Stop ignoring China's genocide! Stop ignoring China's genocide! UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
Act against Chinese occupation of East Turkestan!
Act against Chinese genocide!
Act against Chinese occupation of East Turkestan!
Act against Chinese genocide in East Turkistan!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
Stop ignoring China's genocide!
Stop ignoring China's genocide!
Stop ignoring China's genocide!
Stop ignoring China's genocide!
UN, take a stand!
UN, take a stand!
UN, take a stand!
UN, take a stand!
Justice for East Turkestan!
Biz manda ayrılırız. Kovmayınız bir yerden. Kovmayın.
Hacı, sızsın bana.
Ya, bak. Bak, şuradan çıkaralım. Asıl silahı aldı bak. Bak, bayrakları çıkıyor.
Sırlı bana gir lan. Hey, sırlı bana gir lan.
Terörist China!
Terrorist China!
Terörist China!
Terrorist China!
Terörist China!
Terrorist China!
Faşist China!
Fascist China!
Faşist China!
Fascist China!
Terörist China!
Terrorist China!
Faşist China!
Fascist China!
Racist China!
Racist China!
Terörist China!
Terrorist China!
Faşist China!
Fascist China!
Terörist Wang Yi!
Terrorist Wang Yi!
Faşist Wang Yi!
Fascist Wang Yi!
Terörist Wang Yi!
Terrorist Wang Yi!
Faşist Wang Yi!
Fascist Wang Yi!
Terörist Wang Yi!
Terrorist Wang Yi!
Faşist Wang Yi!
Fascist Wang Yi!
Terörist China!
Terrorist China!
Terörist China!
Terrorist China!
Faşist China!
Fascist China!
Ha. Kilit.
Ben de çıktım da. Terörist China!
Ağlık şunu. Ağlık şunu.
Kapımı atkan da.
Evet.
Çekti sen. Terörist China! Terörist China! Faşist China! Terörist China!
Yok ayakçılığım var lan ben emrimden bakıyorum.
Hayır vardı bir onlar. Yemin et.
Court order business dağıtılır. Kanun demen ondan
Bu arada bu dem kımmet değil. Gitmesin görev oldu.
Ben neydi bunu? Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
UN stop appeasing China! America stop appeasing China! NYPD stop appeasing China! Stop supporting genocide!
China!
Stop supporting the Chinese terrorists! Stop supporting the Chinese fascists! Stop supporting Chinese imperialism! Stop supporting Chinese colonialism! Stop supporting the Chinese people! Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Fascist China!
Fascist China!
Genocide! Terrorist China! The UN is complicit in genocide! Hypocrite UN! Hypocrite UN!
Hypocrite UN!
Hypocrite UN! Hypocrite UN! Hypocrite UN!
Hypocrite UN!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Stop supporting China's genocide!
Stop the violent China genocide!
UN, stop supporting China's genocide!
UN, stop supporting China genocide!
UN, stop supporting Chinese colonization!
UN, stop the genocide!
UN, stop the Chinese colonization!
UN, stop supporting Chinese colonization!
UN, stop supporting Chinese colonization! UN, stop supporting Chinese occupation!
UN, stop supporting Chinese occupation!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the democracy!
UN, stop hypocrisy!
UN, stop the democracy!
UN, stop the hypocrisy!
UN, stop the democracy!
Hadi kırmızı çık.
Gel ya, kurtar babamı çıkar. Balık lan, balık lan. Hadi sen. Dem trilina yaman avazımız yeri kaldı da. Ha vallahi.
Ya bu işkemiyor, işkemiyor. Barber. Ya çıkmaz. Sus. Ben barber. Bekle. Ay sen. Siz bekle ben barber.
Mekilen var nim basın. Ali basın.
Var bana şunu bassın bulurduk. Benim de.